Emmy's mother drives us back to Galmaku. The trip back is very quiet. This scene is called Hooray for Socks. Why is it called Hooray for Socks? We wave goodbye as the car drives off. I glance down at the girl leaning on my arm. How are you feeling? Emmy shrugs non-committally. I don't blame her for not being sure how she's feeling right now. I mean, that was still a sad moment. I'll be fine. Come on, let's go. We pause outside the girl's dorm and I turn to face Emmy, ready to say goodbye. Why don't you come up for a while? Okay. I figured that was going to happen. The walk up to her room is in silence. I'm not sure why. I suppose I'd be turned away at the door. I guess I just assumed she'd want to be alone. I wouldn't blame her on a day like this. Her mom, the nurse, hell, everyone who knew the significance of today seemed to think it best to leave Emmy alone. But she took me into the graveyard with her. She told me the whole story of what happened on the day she lost her legs. She wanted me around. The significance of this does not escape me. Emmy opens the door and steps into her room, not even bothering to invite me in, holding the door for me expectantly. I step in and the door swings shut behind me. Hey, can I ask you a favor? Sure, can't guarantee I'll do it, but... Emmy giggles and pulls me into a kiss that starts out soft but deepens into something almost desperate. Stay with me, please? Her voice has dropped to a whisper. The question is barely audible over the sound of my own breathing. There's something about the way that she asks that question, the hesitancy in it, the quiet voice, that makes me think she doesn't mean tonight. No, she means exactly what she said. Stay with me. Not tonight, or forever. Because both of us know there's no such thing as forever. There's no time limit to her request. There's just the request. The favor. Can I do that? Of course. Can I stay with her? Yes. Of course. We embrace again, Emmy guiding me towards her bed, stepping backwards with care until she sits down on the edge. Oh, yep, censoring all of that. She's gotten my shirt off by this point, and I've similarly lifted hers over her head, bra and all. Her shorts come off just as quickly. With practice ease, she removes her legs and pulls me onto the side of the bed with her, my hand coming around her smooth shoulder. I cast my gaze over her face, down her neck, following the lines of the swell of her breast before I lower my head, planting kisses across her chest, listening to her breath hitch as her hand slides further and further down my chest. As I work my way back up to her neck, I can feel her hands working at my belt, now fumbling slightly with the buckle, now unbuttoning, now unzipping, until my pants fall to the floor. Her panties are noticeably darkened in the right place, showing that my earlier ministrations have produced some results. What does ministrations mean? Does it just mean like his attentions or something? I honestly have no idea to that one. The provision of assistance or care, or the services of a minister of religion or of a religious institution. Yeah, it's obviously that first one. I step back quickly and shuck my boxers, and move back in as Emmy reaches over into a drawer on her nightstand, removing a small foil package. She tears it open with a quick jerk of her teeth and reaches down to apply the protection, which, as always, causes me to gasp a little. Her expression suddenly changes as she takes a view of me in. Wait a second, are you still in your socks? Oh, is that why it's called Hooray for Socks? I pause and look down. Apparently I am. Yeah, does that matter? Take them off. It's weird if you still have them on. How's it weird? I don't know. You know, you've still got your socks on too. Yes, but I don't have my legs on, so it doesn't count. Unable to deny her logic and impatient to have the conversation over anyway, I quickly remove the offending items. I'm so eager to get back at Emmy that I practically jump on top of her, pushing her down playfully. Don't hit her head into the wall and give her a concussion like what happened to us. Emmy's giggling and squirming quickly ends, replaced by a happy sigh as I enter her. Breathing deeply, she savors the feeling. She spreads her arms to grab the sheets. Her breath is in my ear as I begin moving, whispering words of encouragement, nipping at my neck, now at my mouth. My hips hit the edge of the mattress, shaking the bed. A part of my brain briefly wonders if I should try to be quieter before succumbing to the waves of pleasure racing up my spine. Emmy's stomach tenses as she grows closer to the edge, and as our bodies both begin to glisten with sweat, time begins to become hazy. I never know what to add in like commentary-wise here. The sound of my own breathing mingles with Emmy's panting, and I ready myself for a final surge before surrendering to the rushing wave of climax. Emmy's body shudders and she cries out, her fingers digging into my back as I too lose control of myself. My back arches as I let myself go, feeling my body spasm as I orgasm. Is that over? I collapse next to Emmy, who almost immediately curls against me, smiling. Mentally, I feel grateful that Emmy keeps her nails short, otherwise I think she might have drawn blood. That would probably hurt. I sit up briefly to dispose of the now used condom and lay back down next to Emmy, who's in turn taking care of cleaning herself off. For a while, we lay in silence, savoring the feeling of being next to one another. What is the song anyway? Comfort. Emmy is the first to speak. Hey, Sal. Oops, censoring it again. Thanks for coming with me today. No problem. I smile and plant a kiss on her head. Of course. My pleasure. Emmy snuggles closer. I can feel her breathing begin to slacken as she begins to drift off to sleep. Just as she's about to fall asleep, she wakes up enough to mutter a single sentence. I love you, Sal. Then she's out like a light, leaving me feeling like I'm on top of the world. I draw the slumbering Emmy as close as possible, pull the covers over us to keep the chill off, and fall asleep as happy as I've ever been.